An introduction. Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Lawrence. What I'm about to reveal to you will be the most important information you will ever hear. Let us describe who these words are intended for and who they are not. If you are like me and a believer in the laws of the Mighty One, and understand that truth comes from His Word, and, like many of us, have been aroused from our sleep, discovered that about everything you have been taught in your life is just one big lie, then you are a part of this great awakening, and I will explain why this is happening to you. If you are one of these people, then this message definitely is for you. If not, then you will never understand these words and become the subject of the meaning behind these parables. In Isaiah 6:9 it says, "You'll be ever hearing, but never understanding. You'll be ever seeing, but never perceiving." You see, this is speaking about the foolish and the blind. And I'll explain to you why you do not understand or you cannot understand. Now also in Luke chapter 6 verse 39 it says, "He also told them this parable, can the blind lead the blind? Will they both not fall into the pit?" And this parable is truly amazing because this is exactly what has been happening. The blind leading the blind. I'll explain more about that later. Now, if you do not believe in a creator, then I want you to think about these words. In Psalm 14 verse 1 it says, "The fool says in his heart, there is no Elohim." It says, "They are corrupt, they do abominable deeds, and there is none who does good." Now behind this parable also there's a reason that you do become a subject of those other parables where you do not hear and you do not understand, because a fool says in his heart there is no Elohim. Now the word fool in Hebrew is the word evil. That means someone who is without knowledge and understanding, which is why there has been this great war on ignorance, and all to do with the reasoning of man. Now, the understanding of parables lies within the knowledge of wisdom, and I will be discussing wisdom throughout this discourse. Now, why wisdom? Well, in Psalm 154 it says, "Wisdom has been given that the honor of Jehovah may be known, and it has been made known to men to tell of his works, to make known to children his strength, and to cause those who lack understanding and comprehend his glory." And it says, "Who are far from his entrances and distant from his gates. For the Elohim of Yaakov is exalted, and his glory is upon all his works." Now I want to explain something. The Creator revealed his wisdom unto me, and he has given me knowledge and understanding. So this is why wisdom is given, so that we may know the Creator and to know his works, because the ignorance of mankind who reject the Creator will never understand him or never know him, and this is part of what is happening. Now that we've got the pleasantries out of the way, like me, you are a lover of the truth, then you are in for a revelation. I'll reveal to you that this is all happening for a reason and a purpose, and not only that, but everything has been foretold ahead of time by Elohim's wisdom. I would ask that you put aside all your presuppositions and listen carefully to what I'm about to explain to you. Before proceeding, let us first define the truth, the origin of truth. What is the source of truth? Now, understanding truth and who defines this is of the utmost importance. This is a question everyone should have asked themselves. Now, truth is not open to debate, interpretation, or opinion, and it is no respecter of persons. Truth is unbiased. It doesn't matter if you're a king, if you're an official, if you're a queen, you're subject to truth, and you need to honor truth. Now, truth is definitive, and it is truth that exposes the lies and the deceptions. Now, these are the very tenets that have enslaved you, the people. Now, recognizing the source of truth is vital if we are ever to become free from the hold that the lies have upon us. Now, When Yeshua was before Pilate, he asked him, "What is truth?" Now this is as profound as it is deep. Pilate, a ruler, either he did not uphold the value of truth, or for that matter recognize the justice truth brings. Now, the Creator said in His law to defend the oppressed, to take up the cause of the fatherless and plead the case of the widow. So it is all about justice. And here we have Yeshua before Pilate being wrongfully accused and for no reason about to be condemned and put to death. Now Pilate really is a similitude of governors and rulers who don't hold to the truth to the highest esteem, and were more concerned with public opinion, pleasing the crowd, and not to mention the Jews. You will discover the meaning of the fourth beast, Rome, symbolized as the eagle. Now, also what the two legs of iron and clay symbolize, the divided kingdom of Satan. And you will understand that it is Rome who instituted the political two-party system that all governments are based upon today. And it was through Rome the truth would be buried. Now Yeshua responded that he had come to bear witness to the truth. This is what Yeshua said to Pilate. And this is an overlooked reason. But he came to bear witness to the truth. Now you can only bear witness to the truth if you are the truth. Now, to pay the price also, and also to save humanity and to set the captives free. Now, witness is really evidence, proof of something, and they have knowledge from the observation or the experience. Now, we're told there are two books. There's the book of the life and there's the book of the dead. And it says the dead are judged according to what's recorded in those books. You see, the Creator has already wrote the end from the beginning. And if you have not read the ascension of Isaiah, when Isaiah was taken up into the heavenly realms, he was shown many things. He was shown the Messiah, that he would come. He was also shown that there were books that had all of the deeds recorded of men, and there was nothing hidden from the heavenly realms. And this is very important, because there is going to be a judgment day. And this is why a witness and a testimony is very important, because that's what the law stipulates. Every matter must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. Now Yeshua said that if you hold to my teachings, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And this is very profound, because I am testifying that these words are most excellent and true. I've experienced the meaning of this in my life, and I have found the truth. Now, have you ever thought about what you are being set free from? Think about this, as I will cover this in a later video in the series to do with the law. Now, that knowing that Yeshua is the Word, which is Spirit, and that He became flesh and tabernacled amongst us, just like us, a man, but with the Spirit of Elohim. Now, understanding also that it is not the written code that saves, it is the way of the Spirit of Elohim. Now, there are so many verses that testify to the words as being truth, such as Psalms 119, verse 160. It says that all your words are true, and your righteous laws are eternal. And also John chapter 17, verse 17, it says, sanctify them by truth. Your word is truth. So you see, understanding where this truth comes from and having a source from truth really does give you a feeling of justice. Now the Creator defined His word as the basis of the truth, and this is our source. Now let's tie all this into the truth. I want you to consider the following. Yeshua said to the Jews that they are of your father Satan. It speaks about this in John chapter 8 verse 44. Now I want to expand upon this. You see, this is the same serpent that was in the garden who Adam and Eve was commanded to not hearken to. we're told that he was a murderer and a liar from the beginning, and when he speaks his native language. In other words, lies and deceptions. I want to expound more upon this later in the video, and it's very telling. Now, why is this important? Well, establishing that Yeshua is the source of truth and providing evidence to support this is paramount. Now, the book of life, his word, tells us very clearly why the world is full of lies and deceptions. For example, we're told that Satan is the Elohim of this age, and he's blinded the minds of unbelievers. This is spoken of in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. Now, this has a spiritual meaning, and it is to do with the reason the Creator told mankind, Adam, not to hearken to the serpent for the day that you eat of this knowledge. I don't really go into what those trees symbolize and the meaning of this knowledge, but in other words, that you will die, and he's talking about a spiritual death here, not being able to see, to hear, and to understand. Now, also you're told that all the kingdoms have been given to him, Satan, and that he can give them to whoever he chooses if they serve him. Now, this is very important. This is spoken about in Matthew chapter 4, verse 8. So this is when Yeshua was before and tempted by Satan to transgress the commandments. Now, this all goes back to the purpose in the garden, and I will explain that also later. But the point being here is all these kingdoms of the earth are under the dominion and the control of Satan. Now, we're told that the dragon was thrown down to the earth from heaven. And we're told that this is this animal, the old snake, the serpent. He is also called the devil or Satan. And he is the one who has fooled the whole world. And he was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. And this is spoken of in Revelations chapter 12, verse 9. And this is to do with the accumulation of this age, with the completion of this age, and the end of this world. And you'll become, you should have realized that it is the serpent who man has been serving since they were cast out of the garden. And he is the one that has deceived the whole entire world. Now, herein we have the mystery of the beast kingdoms and who the power behind them is. Now, when Yeshua said, "Let no man deceive you," this is what he was referring to, because you see, it talks herein about the blind leading the blind. And this is so profound. And this is what exactly has happened. The kingdoms who are actually under the control of Satan, and these power governments that have been set up, they're actually all following Satan. Well, Satan is the ruler. Okay, now let's look at other evidence to support Satan and what Yeshua said about "You're of your father, the devil," or Satan. And we're talking about the seed of the serpent here. Now, if you have not read the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, first published in the 1800s, about 1897 or thereabouts, then I highly recommend you read this, because this document articulates very clearly the plan, and you should recognize this is exactly what has occurred in the world to date. It outlines the function of the protocols. In there, for example, it speaks about the Masonic lodges and the function of secrecy, because it is through secrecy they get to rule. They also discuss how they control both sides of the parties, i.e. the left and the right, and how they use opposition to their own advantage. In there also, it speaks about the brotherhood of the serpent. And this is the seed of the serpent that goes all the way back to the garden. And this also confirms what Yeshua said, that you are of your father, Satan, that he was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. You see, it lays out very clearly their plan for world domination and how they plan on achieving this, namely by deceptive means through treachery, political leverage, and the power of control. You see, they get dirt on people, and through this dirt they get great manipulation and power. And of course, acquisition of resources for wars, etc. I also want to point out Albert Pike's Free World War letter that was, which was written around the 1800s as well, 1871. And in there also we see this connection with, it mentions the agentura of the Illuminati, and this is basically the same thing that is spoken about in the protocols of the learned elders of Zion. And we can see this collaboration. And of course, Albert Pike was a 33-degree Freemason and a member of the Masonic Club. And it is through this role of masonry that it carries out these orders, working with other groups. Now that we've established the basis for truth, this sets the stage for what will follow. And lies in these days, and he is revealing that which is hidden and concealed. You see, the created worlds never left man in complete darkness, but has given him light. He's taught the truth. He has also testified to this by sending his Son into the world, that whoever believes in him should not die but have life. Now it was up to each and every one of us. You see, we are the atom of our own soul. You see, the books were sealed until the time of the end. Herein written the end from the beginning. The unsealing of these books would represent the revealing of his mysteries, the disclosure of hidden things, and bringing into light everything that is in the darkness, namely the corruption, the lies, deceit, plus his promises he has made to his people. You see, we've received many books of knowledge, and they have been given to the wise. See, Daniel and the book of Revelations, they are intricately connected. And in Daniel, he was told to go your way, and the books were sealed until the time of the end. And we're at the time of the end, and that's why these things are being revealed. And it is to testify to his word, the truth. Now also later on, I will also explain to you the meaning of the two trees in the Garden of Paradise and what they represent. And that the Creator had a plan all along, and embedded in this is a parable in wisdom. Now what did it mean to eat from the tree of knowledge between good and evil, and why death, and what this represented? I will explain that deeply rooted in this parable is humanity's story, that the purpose and meaning to life is to acknowledge the Creator, discover the tree of life, his truth, his Torah, his laws, to accept his Son as our Savior, and to receive his spirit of wisdom. You see, man had two choices. He had the way of death and the way of life. And that's why there is good and evil, and why there is the wise and the foolish. Discover why Satan got to rule this world. You see, Adam was to have dominion at the beginning, and he was to rule. But you see, because of transgressing of the commandments and being deceived by the serpent, the kingdom was stolen. Now, what does it mean to serve other Elohim, and why we were enslaved? Now, also the mystery of the firstborn, the angels, and the older will serve the younger. And of course, the meaning of the parable, the blind leading the blind, because see, it's all connected with what has happened. And I want to talk to you why the commandments are important. We will read them in the Hebrew and why they are perfect and relevant. The Creator, you see, knew beforehand and foretold our future, and that he said that everything would become corrupt and defiled in the end. I will reveal the mystery that has been hidden from the beginning and was destined for our glory, and what the mark of the beast and the seal of Elohim is about. You see, it's to do with the image of the beast and the image of Elohim. And also the great awakening and the end of this age. Namely, the time of judgment is upon us. You see, the Creator has already foretold that there are 12 ages allocated, and there is a period of time for transgressions to seal up the testimony, to anoint the Most High, and to fulfill all prophecy. He has already foretold this, and there were 12 ages determined by the Creator. And now we are in the 12th period, the age of Pisces, and this is the 12th sign of the zodiac. You see, the Creator does everything by measure, number, and weight. You see, He's measured the times. He's also chosen 12 tribes and 12 apostles. That's why the day was split into 12. We have 12 months in a year. You see, everything needs to do with number. And that's why He's put these things here, because they are the works of the Most High. Now, Yeshua foretold that He would return at the end of the age of Pisces. And that is why all this is happening right now, as foretold in advance. He said, "See, I have told you ahead of times." And that the Creator has allowed this world to play out as a demonstration, both to man and to Elohim, what would become of society when His wisdom and laws are rejected, and why obeying His commandments are all based on wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. To bring honor to my Father, and to extol the name of the Most High before all people, and to bear witness that Jehovah lives and reigneth in the heavens, and that His ways are truth, justice, and judgment from the beginning, that He has done only good in my life, and not evil, and to declare His majesty, His patience, mercy, and abundant love, to restore the true knowledge of the Most High, that when we acknowledge Him, keep His laws, that He bestows blessings upon us and reveals His wisdom, and to lead people to the knowledge of the truth that will set you free from the lies and the deceptions that enslave you, and of course to declare the wisdom of the Most High. We're told in Luke chapter 2 verses 11 to 12, it says, "To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign for you. You will find a baby wrapped in swaddling clothes." You see, the Most High has made promises to His people, and He's told David that He would bring in an everlasting kingdom, and He is fulfilling it for Yeshua. Now, Yeshua was to be the son of David. He's referred to as the son of David. Well, who was the son of David? Well, it was Solomon. And Solomon was given the spirit of wisdom. And this is very important because Yeshua is Elohim's wisdom. Now you see, swaddling clothes was the sign, and it symbolized Yeshua as a royal son of David and the anointed one of Elohim. And it constituted a sign of heavenly royalty. Now in the Jewish Book of Wisdom, King Solomon describes his earliest days, saying, "I was nursed in care in swaddling clothes. No king has any different beginning of existence." You see, this is why Yeshua is the King of Kings, and he was born in like manner. Now this is all Elohim's wisdom, how He has hidden all these things, but it's all there for if you have eyes to see and ears to hear. You see, Yeshua is Elohim's wisdom. In the book of Sirach, chapter 15, we read these words. It says, "The man who fears Jehovah will do this, and he who holds to the Torah will obtain wisdom. She will come to meet him like a mother, and like the wife of his youth, she will welcome him. She will feed him with the bread of understanding, and give him the water of wisdom to drink. He will lean on her and will not fall, and he will rely on her and will not be put to shame. She will exalt him above his neighbors, and will open his mouth in the midst of the assembly. He will find gladness and a crown of rejoicing, and will acquire an everlasting name. Foolish men will not obtain her, and sinful men will not see her. She is far from the men of pride, and liars will never think of her. See, this is the symbolism of the bride because it is all about wisdom. You see, wisdom is like our mother, and she's also like our wife. And she is the one who provides our education. She is the bread of understanding and the water of wisdom. So it's really quite profound. It's quite amazing that that wisdom is what the Creator has intended for His children to find and to learn. And she is the hidden matzah, the bread of life.